We saw the press conference that Joe Biden had, if you can even call it that. He had a lot of notes. He had printouts with people's faces and names on it, who to call on, who not to call on. What was your takeaway from that press conference?
Well, I think the press conference is probably the least of it. People saw a lot of things happening long prior to the press conference, and even the trip up the stairs, up and down, 3 times. There were a lot of things are going on. So we'll see what happens. I hope he's in good shape. I hope he's okay for the sake of the country.
Yeah.
But not the face. I think people get it, and I think very importantly, the things that he said, and whether we debated or whether he just made statements, all of those things were not what he's doing. This is more liberal, more radical than Bernie Sanders ever had in mind. Bernie could not be happier. But this is something Bernie would have never suggested what's happening. He never talked about what he's doing to destroy energy, and the Second Amendment now is going to be next. They're going to destroy the Second Amendment. All of the things that they're doing are things, raise taxes at a level, the biggest tax increase in history. Those were not things that were discussed at all during the election. But when they didn't show any of that during the campaign, they just cut it out, like canceled, I guess you'd call it cancel culture, right? But when they didn't show that, to me, that was really the beginning, because it was bad. It's been fake for a long time. But it used to be fake where they'd come up and I'd come up and you'd fight, or somebody else, but you'd fight. And the public can believe one way or the other. They might believe me, they might believe the other side, or they might believe an anchor or whoever's into. But they didn't bring Hunter up. It was just really canceled. And later on, polls came out that showed it would have made a 10-point difference. A 10-point difference, that's a lot of difference. To me, that's where it actually began, this new phase. The new phase is you have something and they won't put it out. And that's whether it's scandalous or whether it's anything, whether it's just good news, they won't put it out. And it's a very interesting time. Now, we're getting it out. I'm getting word out by using press releases. I put it out by a press release and everybody's picking it up. It's more elegant as a, president, et cetera, et cetera. To me, it's more elegant. I think it's getting the word out about the same. You do less of it because, it's a little bit, and you can do longer. You can make it a little bit longer. Not that it should be that much longer. Usually it doesn't have to be too much longer, but you can do it longer. And I think we're getting the word out. And
maybe we don't even need social media. You're gonna go this route,
I don't
perhaps.
think we do, and I may be wrong, but I don't think we do. But I think social media has become so corrupt that people aren't believing it anymore, really. I mean, a lot of it has become very corrupt. It's really become like the media itself, very corrupt.
That's true.
We don't have freedom of the press anymore. We had freedom of the press, and it's a terrible thing to say, but we really don't have freedom of the press anymore. We have a corrupt press with a point of view, and that's all they want to do is sell the point of view. And why they want to sell it, because when you think of it, defund the police, open borders. Look at our borders. Look what's happening. We had the borders the best they've ever been. The wall could have been finished in a very short period of time, a matter of weeks. Just close up the little sections that we had to leave open to bring equipment back, et cetera, et cetera. And the wall could have been finished so quickly. The wall is the best thing. We built almost 500 miles of wall, and it's been a tremendous success. And all they have to do is finish it up. Now you can put security there and you have it fine, but the wall is better than anything you can do. It's really worked. But we have the best southern border in terms of what we're talking about that we've ever had. And in one day, he said, everybody come up. And once he said that, and what's going on now is nothing compared to what's going to take place during the summer. During the summer, you're going to see things that nobody's ever seen before.
It's very upsetting, very hard to see.
It's very dangerous, and it's very bad for our country, and they're destroying our country.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, by the way, that we're allowing illegal immigrants to pour over our southern border, it seems like the woke left is focused more on things like canceling Mr. Potato Head, canceling Dr. Seuss books, than actually doing things that are going to positively impact the American people. Meanwhile, our adversaries like China are working overtime to build up their economies, to do things for their people. How do you think we're being viewed right now around the world, whether by our adversaries or our allies? How do you think the United States is regarded right now?
I think that they can't believe what's happening. They don't believe it. They don't believe. Can you imagine China looking at us and they're talking about Dr. Seuss, and that was like the big thing of the day? But it's long beyond Dr. Seuss. They want to take down monuments to heroes. They want to get rid of our history, obliterate our great history. Whether it's good or bad, you learn from it. You have to learn from history.
Right.
And some is bad, and some is good. I would say most of it's good, but they want to obliterate our past. And once you do that, you don't have much of a country left. I think that China is very happy now, and I think that Russia and a lot of other countries are very happy. They're looking at what's going on, and they don't believe it.
Yeah, it's very scary. I think for a lot of Americans, they don't know where we will be ultimately. I think they felt very safe with you as president. You protected our country, whether it was our southern border, whether it was standing up around the world to people that meant us ill. And now we don't really know where we are. I want to move on to something.
By the way, built the strongest military.
Yes.
We rebuilt the military. We have a military now like we've never had before. The equipment is the best, all made in the USA. We have Space Force. We did so much. Biggest tax cuts in history, biggest regulation cuts in history. And that's why the base is so strong right now. That's why the base of the country, our base is strong, but the base of the country is strong. The foundation is strong. And that's why it can do so well, where we have the highest stock market we've ever had. But that's going to erode, just like energy. We're energy independent. In 3 months from now, we won't be energy independent because of what they're doing. And they never talked about this. They never said this. In fact, they said the opposite. They really lied during the campaign a lot about a lot of things.
And I know you're not ready to answer it yet, but do we have hope that there's a possibility to see Donald Trump run again in 2024?
You do have hope.